Bobcat Nation, it's time once again for the Bobcat Coach's Corner. To my left, Hope Clark, and it's time to talk some soccer. Welcome back to Milledgeville after a trip up to South Carolina last night.
Thank you, thank you.
All right, didn't get the result you wanted up there, of course, but a tough 1-0 ball game in overtime, lost on a penalty kick of all things, but it seemed as though the play you got against a tough team. I mean, they came into that at 6-1-1, and the Lander squad. You know, how did you feel about how the team played yesterday, Coach?
I thought we played really well, to be honest with you. I think the possession is looking good, and for once, I think Lander was pretty direct on us. And sometimes we struggle in the air just because of our size, and Lander was maybe twice our size in a lot of areas. But I thought our girls handled that very well. We've been working a lot on that, and you know, all in all, I thought we played very well. We had a couple opportunities that I would have liked to have seen us put away. And they as well only had one or two maybe that Taylor really had to come up big on a save. So I thought all in all it was a pretty even game.
And it's you know, it's always a tough conference. It looks like that the Bearcats will probably be flushing out to be one of the, at least in the top half for sure.
Absolutely.
And hopefully we'll be there as well. That's the whole point to the thing. But snapped a 2-game win streak in the conference. I mean, what does it say about a team that's so young, doesn't have much playing time, that you start off the conference season where it matters the most with a couple of victories? Sure.
I mean, I think anytime we can get a couple of victories early in conference is great. And you know, we played that schedule so we'd be prepared, and I think the girls are playing really well. I mean, you know, we're just, as the games get stronger, less and less opportunities are going to present themselves, and we just need to do a better job to finish those few that we do get. But I thought we played very well defensively, and I think the girls were well prepared coming off of that non-conference schedule.
Cool. Well, so got some good good news from the conference office earlier this week.
Yeah.
The defensive player of the week and the goalkeeper of the week are both Bobcats for this week. Tell me about Jamie Colcord, the defensive player of the week, and you know what makes her so strong. I know experience is probably a good part of it.
Absolutely. I mean, Jamie is just she's a nice athlete. You know, she's strong. She has the ability to get forward for us from the outside back position, and she's also a very strong 1v1 defender. So, you know, those two kind of things coupled in really make her a great back for me, and it's playing right into my type of playing style. So, you know, and I'm encouraging her day in and day out to reach for assists and goals, and that our backs can score. And she was our leading goal scorer in the spring for us. So, you know, Jamie brings a lot to the table, and, you know, very pleased to have her, and she's a solid defender for us.
And of course, Taylor Cornelius was also the goalkeeper of the week. What type of game does she have? I know we talked about her a couple of different times, but to have a freshman be goalkeeper of the week in the conference, I think that says a lot for her efforts.
Absolutely. I mean, I'm proud of her for getting the 2 shutouts. I mean, those are really team shutouts at the end of the day, but for a goalkeeper, that's a fantastic stat. And Taylor's really doing well right now. She had a fantastic game last night. You know, I couldn't have been more pleased with her stopping one penalty kick early in the game, and then unfortunately, you know, giving up on the other one, but she made a great attempt on that, and those really aren't in favor of a goalkeeper anyway. So I think she's doing fantastic. You know, 2 shutouts. It's nice, and then just giving up 1 goal in this last conference match. So, you know, we're not giving up too many, which is great.
Yeah, that's 3 straight games and 3 conference games where we've shut down the opposition during the regular 90-minute playing period. So defense, it appears to be a strong suit again for the Bobcats, and that's kind of been the theme over the last couple of years where the defense has been a strong suit for us. What do you think makes that such an important part of it? Is it your background as a goalkeeping player that's an area of focus for you? Or?
I think, you know, I tend to focus a lot actually on the attacking end of everything, and you know, we encourage, and I certainly encourage our backs to become those great offensive weapons for us. And a lot of times in practice we'll do offense against defense in transitional games and scoring opportunities, and I'll tell you what, it's neck and neck between our defense and offense. So, you know, we have a lot of, I think, scoring threat there and offensive power in our back end, and we were able to work another player into the lineup yesterday in the back end. So we're happy to see her kind of come on, and we'll see what she brings in the long run.
Okay, and I'm told the extra player you're talking about is Dixie Robinson, and an injury. Missed the entire season, I believe, last year, or a good chunk of it at least. And coming back from that and the rehab and everything associated with that, and of course Eva Bullier, your athletic trainer, instrumental in the recovery there.
Absolutely.
But tell me a little bit about Dixie. I know she's a transfer from Auburn Montgomery, where you used to coach, and you know, tell me about Dixie and her work ethic.
Yeah, I tell you what, she'll bring a lot of fire to that back line. She has an extremely high work ethic and probably one of the most competitive kids we probably have on the team. I mean, she'll do anything when it comes down to crunch time to try to score. She has the ability to attack from the back end and very, very strong in the air. So that's just strengthening our back end. And so she brings a little bit more size, athleticism, and speed. You know, a little bit different player, obviously, coming off of ACL and then an MCL or meniscus, I should say. But I was pretty proud of her. She was able to run 45 minutes yesterday, and she brought a lot to that back end. So we'll see how it kind of plays out.
Nice. And you got a lot of pieces back there, to be quite honest. I mean, the depth, particularly in the defensive line, appears to be an area of strength for you. Let's look forward, I guess, to the weekend. Clayton State, we're headed up to Morrow, Georgia on Saturday. The start there, I think, like a 3:30, something like that. 5 p.m. Okay. Yep. So look for that. GCBobcats.com, Ustream broadcast. Chandler Lee will bring you the action there, as well as live stats through the Sports Information Office there at Clayton State. So look for the links at GCBobcats.com to follow the action. But let's talk about the Lakers. In years past, probably about 2-3 years ago, they were tops in the league. Year after year, they would always have one great scorer that would power their offense. Sure. We got a coaching change, brand new coach this year. A lot of change. It looks like they're down at the bottom of the end of the conference as well. I think they're 0-2, maybe even 0-3 in the league right now. What do you expect out of the Lakers, and how do we go in there tomorrow and get back on the winning side of things?
Well, I think Gareth O'Sullivan, who's the new head coach there, I've known Gareth since I coached at the University of Tampa. I had to coach against him at Christian Brothers. He always puts together quality teams, so I wouldn't hold him back for too long right now, and I think he's got a lot of diversity in his squad right now from what I can tell. A lot of international players, which I think was going to happen. He is international himself, and you know, they're a well-supported, well-funded program, and I think some great things will start happening for Clayton. But I tell you what, you know, it's just bringing in new players and underneath a new coach, and you know, I think it's still going to be a pretty tough game. I think they held North Georgia last night, and it was I think 2-0 in favor of North Georgia. So I would expect a pretty strong game. You know, for us, I think any game in the Peach Belt is going to be a tough match, and on any given day, somebody's going to pop out with that.
As you're coaching, what percentage of your game plan ends up being the opponent and how to play them, as opposed to just executing what you need to do for success?
Well, I think it kind of goes hand in hand. It depends on team to team and year to year. I pretty much, like going into Lander yesterday, we know it's a tough squad. We just tweaked maybe 1 or 2 defensive things on how we're going to handle some of their key players. Okay. And I think that played out really well. To shut Jamie Shaw down to 0 points last night was big for us, because I know she's been really doing some great things in the conference right now. And I was proud of our girls in the tweak in that defensive aspect. So, but for the most part, I think the Bobcats are playing some great soccer, and I think we're going to go ahead and stick with our own game plan and let our opponents worry about us a little bit more than us worry about them.
Sounds good to me. Okay, well, let's look for that action on Saturday against Clayton State. We're going to give you that Ustream broadcast. Chandler Lee brings you the action. We'll also look for the live stats, GCBobcats.com. We'll have one more contest before we talk to you next, North Alabama on Tuesday. Another non-conference match. We only got, I think, 2 more of those left. Absolutely. But quite a trip out there to Alabama, and we'll see if we can come off with 2 victories and tell you about that next week, Bobcat fans. For Hope Clark, Al Weston here for the Bobcat Coaches Corner.